In a small village in northern Uganda, Joseph and Jennifer lived in a tiny grass-thatched hut. Their clothes were old and torn. Some days they slept hungry, but they never stopped loving each other. As they walked through the village one evening, some wealthy villagers laughed at them. Villager 1 said, "Look at them. They are still poor after all these years." Villager 2 said, "Love cannot buy food." Villager 3 said, "Even their clothes are crying for help." The crowd burst into laughter. Jennifer lowered her head sadly. Jennifer said, "Joseph, why do people hate us so much?" Joseph gently held her hand. Joseph replied, "Don't cry, Jennifer. We may be poor today, but our hearts are rich." Jennifer again said, "I will stand with you no matter what happens." They walked home together while the villagers continued laughing behind them. The following morning, Jennifer went to fetch water from a distant borehole. As she filled her jerrycan, the shiny black SUV stopped nearby. A wealthy businessman named Mr. John stepped out. He smiled and approached her. Mr. John said, "You are too beautiful to be suffering in poverty." Jennifer remained silent. Mr. John opened a briefcase full of money. Mr. John said to Jennifer, "Take this money. Leave your husband and come with me." Jennifer looked shocked and replied, "What are you saying?" Mr. John replied, "I can give you a mansion, cars, and a better life." Jennifer shook her head and replied, "My husband may be poor, but he loves me." Mr. John laughed and said, "Think carefully. This money can change everything." Jennifer replied, "Money can buy a house, but it cannot buy true love." She picked up her jerrycan and walked away. Mr. John stood speechless and said, "I have never seen such loyalty." That same evening, Joseph was returning from the garden carrying a hoe. Suddenly, a luxury car stopped beside him. A rich city woman named Rabina stepped out. Rabina said, "You work too hard for too little." She handed him a bundle of cash and she said, "Leave Jennifer and come with me." Joseph looked at the money but did not touch it and asked, "Why would I do that?" Rabina smiled and answered, "Because I can make you rich." Joseph replied, "When I had nothing, Jennifer stayed with me." Rabina said, "You are choosing poverty." Joseph replied, "No. I am choosing loyalty." He continued walking home. Rabina watched him leave and said, "A faithful man like this is very rare." Months passed. One day, the village chairman made an announcement saying the large agricultural company is looking for hardworking farmers. The winner will receive a huge investment. Many villagers rushed to register. Joseph also registered. The rich villagers laughed again. Villager 1 said, "How can a poor man win?" Second villager also said, "He doesn't even own enough land." Jennifer encouraged him and said, "Believe in yourself. One day our lives will change." Joseph replied to Jennifer, "Thank you for never giving up on me." Weeks later, the results were announced. The entire village gathered at the trading center. Chairman said, "The winner of the national farming competition is Joseph." The crowd fell silent. Villager 1 said, "What?" Villager 2 replied, "Impossible." Villager 3 also said, "How did he beat all the rich farmers?" Joseph received a huge farming grant, modern equipment, business training, and enough capital to start a large agricultural business. Tears filled Jennifer's eyes. And she said, "Joseph, God has finally remembered us." Joseph replied, "This is only the beginning." Their lives changed forever. Years later, Joseph and Jennifer became successful business owners. They built a beautiful house, bought vehicles, and owned several farms. One afternoon, the same villagers who once laughed at them came seeking help. Villager 1 begged Joseph that, "Please forgive us." Villager 2 said, "We mocked you when you were struggling." Villager 3 said, "Please, can you help us find work?" Jennifer looked at Joseph and said, "What should we do?" Joseph smiled and replied, "Let's help them." Villager 1 said, "After everything we did to you." Joseph said, "Holding grudges will not make our village better." And Jennifer said, "We choose kindness." Soon they created jobs for many families, paid school fees for needy children, and supported widows and elderly people. Even Mr. John and Rabina came to congratulate them. Mr. John said, "Your loyalty was worth more than all the money I offered Jennifer." Rabina also said, "Joseph, you stayed faithful and look where it has brought you." Joseph replied, "Our greatest wealth is not money," and Jennifer said, "It is love, faithfulness, hard work, and a good heart." The entire village applauded. As the sun set behind their beautiful home, Joseph and Jennifer sat together on their veranda, remembering where they had come from. Joseph said, "Do you remember the days when we had nothing?" "Yes," Jennifer replied, "people laughed at us every day." Joseph said, "But you never left me." Jennifer replied, "And you never left me." Joseph smiled and said, "We started with nothing." Jennifer said, "But we had each other." Joseph replied, "Oh, and that changed everything." They held hands as children played in the compound and villagers celebrated their success. Moral of the story: true love remains faithful during hard times. Money may come and go, but loyalty, patience, and hard work can change a person's life forever. Question: if you became rich after people laughed at you, would you help them like Joseph and Jennifer did?